Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is the quite bizarre day Humza Yousaf's had, which started off with news coming that the Labour Party had called for a vote of confidence on the entire government following yesterday's announcement from the Scottish Tories that they were having a vote of no confidence on Humza as First Minister. So, before we start, people often ask, how can you help the channel? Dead simple, hit the button that shows like a thumbs up at the bottom of the screen. That'll do plenty. Thank you. So, today, as I say, Anas Sarwar came out first, saying that he and his party were going to call for a vote of no confidence on the full Scottish Government, which was fantastic. What would happen there is, if that vote was to carry, there would be an immediate election. Unlike the Tory call for vote of no confidence on Humza, which would mean the SNP would have 28 days to put in a new First Minister that was acceptable to the whole Parliament, or sorry, the majority of the whole Parliament. And if they failed to do that within 28 days, we would then go to an election. So very similar possible outcomes, but the Labour one would be quicker if it's to carry. So what happened next was Humza was due to go to Strathclyde University in Glasgow, where he was to have a discussion about independence. That was hastily rearranged, that was cancelled, and he called the country's press to Dundee to a housing project where he talked some waffle about social housing that nobody was actually interested in listening to, got some nice photographs, and then the press got to talk to him, and guess what they spoke to him about? He's voting no confidence. And it was as usual. You would think a normal person at this point would realise, I need allies, I need friends, I need at least one party to help me here. And for two reasons. One, to try and survive this vote of no confidence. And two, even if he was to survive that, the only way you can keep a minority government in power is by getting your budget accepted each year. If it's not accepted, we go to an election. So whether it's now to get him through a vote of no confidence, or whether it's 6 months up the line when he's trying to get a budget through, he's going to need to rely on other parties. Now, we started off quite trying to be nice, but he's incapable of doing it. And I thought it was bizarre that he claims he's going to write to the leaders of the opposition parties and look for them. In his words, I'll just find what he said here, because I found this quite bizarre. Speaking to the BBC, Humza Yousaf says Scottish politicians now have to make minority government work. No, they don't. You need to make the minority government work, because that's your job. That's not Anas Sarwar's job. That's not Douglas Ross's job. That's not Patrick Harvey and Lorna Slater's job. That's your job. And I think that sort of language is a bit poor, to be perfectly honest with you. This guy and his party accept no responsibility and no blame for anything they ever do. And now he's telling the rest of the Scottish politicians it's down to them to make his minority government work. What planet do you live on? Right? You're crackers. He said, I will leave the opposition to do the game playing. He was asked why he cancelled his original trip for this. Was it, basically just to do a bit of fan dancing and showboating? And he said, I will leave the opposition to do the game playing, to do the naked political opportunism, if that is what they wish to do. This really does sound like a guy that's wanting to make friends, doesn't it? He did not say whether he'll agree to the demands made by Alba MSP Ash Reagan, but acknowledges minority government is not easy and says he will fight for issues he believes in. What else was quite funny? The Labour Party came out, I think, yesterday and said they would support the Tory motion for a no confidence vote in Humza. And then today the Tories have come out and said they would support the Labour vote on no confidence on the government. This guy has managed to unite Tories and Labour. That's some doing. Very, very unusual for anybody in the country ever to get Tories and Labour to agree on anything. They would argue about the colour of grass in normal circumstances. So well done, you crackpot. Comments from other people. Scottish Greens said they were committed to voting against Humza if the Tories motion of no confidence, and their position on the Scottish Labour motion of no confidence in the entire government is now under consideration. At the event, Yousaf said he will win next week's vote of no confidence and emphasised that he won't resign. Okay. He added that he didn't mean to anger the Greens, but said he emphasised with her position. Scottish Labour's Jackie Baillie said she believes Yousaf is finished and the entire government is failing. The Lib Dems announced they'll back Labour's motion against the Scottish Government. They'd already told everybody they would back the Tory one as well. The Scottish Conservatives reacted to Humza's comments about not resigning as First Minister by emphasising that he needs to go. He also said that they'll back Labour's position. And Ash Regan, the Alba Party's sole MSP, said there's a big opportunity for a reset following the end of the Bute House agreement. What I think is pretty bizarre in this whole thing as well, unless you've been living in the moon or under a big rock, you're probably not aware, but most people are, that relatively recently, Alex Salmond, the ex-SNP First Minister, was taken to court on allegations of, I can't remember if it was sexual abuse or whatever, but, not being nice to women. And wee Alec isn't too happy with SNP. Wee Alec runs the Alba Party. Now, Ash Regan might be their sole MSP, but wee Alec's the boss. So it'll be interesting to see. And I noted, not only did she write a letter with her demands, she's now added to them, because she's added in today that Ash Regan has suggested investment in the Grangemouth refinery could be a price for her support of the Humza Yousaf in the upcoming confidence vote. A sign of good faith would be a significant government investment reinforcing the campaign to save Grangemouth refinery from closure. She said, "I am hopeful that the First Minister will commit to such an initiative in the near future as a sign of our shared dedication to Scotland's welfare." That is an absolute cracker, because if that's a gun you're holding to his head, he either buys your vote and upsets the Greens, or ignores your vote, your demand, in the hope that he can still grab onto a wee bit of good fortune from the Greens. So I think you played a blinder with adding that one in, because that bit wasn't in your letter yesterday, or sorry, the one you made public this morning. Scottish Labour leader Anis Sarwar has told BBC it is a case of when, not if, the First Minister stands down, adding that Humza Yousaf clearly does not have the confidence of the Scottish Parliament. Sarwar said Scottish Labour tabled a motion of no confidence in the Scottish Government because it should be the people of Scotland who decide who leads the country, not just a handful of SNP members. He said it would be untenable for the SNP to impose another unelected First Minister in Scotland. Sarwar said he was happy to engage with people of all political parties, but one conversation with Yousaf would not change his views on the incompetent government. Isn't that fantastic? So there we go. But the most burning question I have is, well, two questions actually. Nobody's actually asked Humza why he put the Bute House agreement in the bin. And the other question is, he said he's going to come out fighting. Well, who are you going to be fighting? Are you going to be fighting against those inside your own party and possibly your own government that don't fancy you as a leader anymore? Or are you going to come out fighting against the opposition who you actually need to continue as a minority government? These questions, well, hopefully, we get answered soon. However, don't be surprised if Humza wrapped it over the weekend, because 48 hours before he put the Bute House agreement in the bin, he was telling the nation that the Bute House agreement was worth its weight in gold. So he can flip-flop quite quick and quite easy, this guy. So don't be surprised if over the weekend Humza throws his towel in and says, I think, with some nonsense about, his family and pressure and Islamophobia and all that stuff will probably come out. And how, he's going to let someone else have a go at trying to unite, and he's doing it for for everybody else's benefit, but some shit like that. If he is to go, and he could do it over the weekend because he's crackers, and he wouldn't even have any conscience about what he's been slabbering today to the Scottish people. So there we go. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Join in the comments. We always get a good laugh there. And most importantly of all, unless you're Humza Yousaf, his crackpot SNP party, or the cult that is dwindling daily, everybody else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.